Howdy, everyone. All right, so the big day has finally come, and it was 2 days ago, August 29th, 2025. Aero Cat, my RV7, finally took to the skies, and it was absolutely incredible. So I have flown about 30 minutes or so in an RV9 at one point, and I had also flown about 30 minutes or so in an RV14, but I've never been in a 7. My DAR came in his RV7. That was the first time I've seen an RV7 in person, but I didn't fly in it. So the experience of flying my plane was just over the top because it was the first time I've ever flown a plane that I've built from scratch, basically from a kit. And just everything about that whole scenario, right? So it's very hard to put into words. For you guys out there that are currently building, you'll know what I'm talking about when you get to that first flight. I'm a very low time pilot. Right now, I think I have right around 100 hours, maybe 102 hours of total flight time. I have about 25 of those hours in a tailwheel aircraft. So, doing the majority of my flying in 172s and Cubs, it's just a completely different airplane, obviously. But I spent 7.5 years putting this plane together, and of course you start to think about every little thing, right? Every little washer, every little cotter pin, every little torque setting. And you think, it's like, what did, this thing that I put together 4 years ago that I'm digging back out to put on the airplane, final assembly. Did I get this? Did I get that? What about this? What about that, right? And there's endless questions, because I had built the engine as well. I completely disassembled it and cleaned it and, replaced bearings and whatnot and reassembled it and stuff. And you think about everything. But the flight could not have been any better. I decided to take advantage of the additional pilot program. Like I said, I'm a very low time pilot, very low time tailwheel. I was not about to run the risk of screwing up this airplane or worse. So I had the additional pilot go with me. And, of course I'm biased because it's my airplane, but geez, I cannot believe how absolutely perfect this plane turned out. Even the guy who flew with me, he was freaking out. I wish I could have recorded his reactions. Of course, I probably would have had to bleep out a lot of the language, but he was pretty excited, and we could not believe how absolutely hands-off, arrow straight, just no indicated pitch anomalies, roll anomalies. We went through the various flap settings, and you could lower and retract the flaps, and just by sitting in the plane, flying straight and level, you wouldn't know that the flaps were coming down or coming up because there was absolutely no rolling moment at all with the flaps. So the rigging is absolutely perfect. So we went out. I have to do engine break-in, right? So that was priority. So as soon as we got off the ground, we went over to a different airfield, which was a lot longer runway, a lot wider runway, and just a better facility to do test flying over and around. So we went out there and we just circled overhead at like 3,500 feet to start this engine break-in procedure and just get a feel for everything, because again, everything is an unknown. So, we were just, 4 sets of eyeballs on EGT and oil pressure, and, we're tuned into what the engine is sounding like and all this stuff, right? So after a while of that, we decided to do some slow flight and do the various flap settings and do some stalls in the different flap settings just to get an idea of what we see on the EFIS as far as airspeed and how the airplane feels when it stalls. We need to know that when we start shooting our first landing attempts. And it's just stupid. I mean, this thing was absolutely perfect, and we couldn't get it to stall initially. We were just sinking straight ahead, and we were down. I even looked at I recorded everything on the EFIS, and then I've been looking at the data on a spreadsheet format on my computer. And according to the spreadsheet, we were as slow as 40 miles an hour airspeed. I don't know how accurate that is. I haven't gotten into all of that quite yet, but real time in the airplane, we were reading, I think it was below 50 anyway. I think. I'm not sure. Don't take that as gospel. I got to look into that more, but and when we did finally, stall it, it just stalled like a normal RV, just kind of the nose just kind of drops. No rolling tendency or any anomalies like that. Like I said, I'm very biased. It's my airplane. I built it. It's the best thing ever, right? But the reality of it is, we were both super impressed at how well this thing did. And, I'm not trying to brag. It's not an ego thing, but that does all come down to rigging. I spent a lot of time with the rigging because I know how crucial that is for the life of the plane. You get the rigging wrong, you have to either deal with it for the life of the airplane or you have to put some kind of a Band-Aid on it for the life of the airplane, and I didn't want that. So I spent a lot of time going over everything rigging, the wing incidents, the horizontal stabilizer incidents, the aileron installation, getting everything lined up with the wing and lined up with the chord line, the flaps lined up with everything, lined up with each other. Because, when you don't want the flaps to come down asymmetric, right? You don't want one to come down more than the other or whatever, right? Spent a lot of time on all that, and it paid off. It was absolutely awesome. We flew, total flight time was about an hour. I would say a good 45 minutes of that was initial engine break-in. I did have an oil leak when we came back and landed. I noticed once we stopped, I had some oil dripping on the ground, not a good sign. Took off the cowlings a couple of days ago, and oil everywhere underneath the cowling. And it was the fitting for the prop control oil line. So the oil line that comes out of the governor. There's a fitting that screws into the front of the engine. That fitting where it screws in, it's a pipe thread fitting. That was not tight. So I removed it, cleaned it, resealed it, put it back in, cleaned up the engine compartment, all that. So anyway, let me stop rambling because I can go on and just talk about how awesome this was. But let me cut this off now, and we'll get to the actual videos. So I have a few videos. My wife and my son were both videotaping from their phones. My wife's videos I downloaded directly from her phone. I think those are going to be a higher quality. I haven't looked at them yet. My son's videos, he had to send me the videos through Facebook Messenger, so I don't know if the quality is going to be as good, but they both got the takeoffs, they both recorded the landings and the back taxi. I'm going to put all of that on this video. I'll probably do like my son's takeoff video, my wife's takeoff video, then my son's landing video, her landing video, things like that. But just be aware that, and I didn't know this at the time, but it's obvious when you watch the videos that they were very nervous, and you could just hear it. You could just hear the relief, right? When it was clear, at least in their mind, that things were cool. But Just be advised when you're watching my wife's videos to turn the volume down because she does yell and it is loud, and if it catches you off guard with headphones, it's gonna be annoying. So anyway, here come the videos. Again, as always, thanks for stopping in, thanks for watching, and first flight. All right, talk to you guys later.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I don't think I got it. I hope you did.
I got a perfect shot.
Oh, good. Oh my gosh, it's in the air.
I can barely see it. There's a little speck. I'm still not gonna zoom in, I guess. I'm just looking at the sky at this point. Yeah.
All right, everyone, just a fair warning. This is this is my wife's recording, so you might want to turn the volume down a little bit.
Oh my gosh, I don't think I got it. I hope you did.
I got a perfect shot.
Oh, good. Oh my gosh, it's in the air. That's awesome. Ooh, yeah. It's up. It's flying. I can't even see it on here.
I can barely see it.
Yeah.
I'm still not gonna zoom in, I guess.
Yeah, no. Well, I guess I'll stop videotaping. Can't see anything.
I'm just looking at the sky.
Yeah.
Should I zoom in at all?
I don't know. Maybe not? I don't know. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.